Recording is going, just so everybody's aware of that. And let's get into it, I guess. The first thing I want to talk about is the name. This is why I was hoping a few more people were gonna show up today, but I don't care then. I guess it's gonna be the group of us 10 here that is gonna decide the name of the game. Um, I have it narrowed down to two candidates. I feel like people have heard me talk about this before. It's gonna comes down to Angel Arena 2.0 or Open Angel Arena. Anybody has an opinion on either one? If so, please voice that right now.
I would be comfortable with either.
I think I prefer the Open Angel Arena, because obviously because of the open source nature of how we're doing this.
Yeah, I mean, we're using GitHub and everything, so, and basically anyone can contribute. So, I mean, the Discord, if you found the link, is kind of open, so we can all use that as well. So,
yeah, so let me go ahead and just explain. So, Open Angel Arena is simple, straightforward. I feel like everybody gets why. Right? What I don't really like about it too much is it lacks a little bit of character. Right? It's just a description of sorts. It's not really like super interesting to me. The other one, Angel Arena 2.0. Angel Arena 2 is just too harsh on the whole thing. Like I feel like it's too much of a, it's too risky of a name. 2.0 is the same thing, but toned down a little bit. People will see it as less of a big deal. I had a little bit of a poll going around. I think we had 1,000 votes on it or something. I can check. How many votes is it right now? Results. Yeah, about 1,000, and about 66% of those. So 2.0 had a 2/3 majority on that. With actually disturbingly accurate 2/3 majority. Another thing I don't really like about Open Angel Arena is because it doesn't start with Angel Arena. That's something that kind of bothers me a little bit. And I just want to I want to decide this shit right now. So let's just talk about this right now and just actually make a decision. Then we just stick with that. Okay, so let's just do that right now. Angel Arena Open is a name that I have been throwing around as well. Angel Arena Open sounds terrible. Right? I can't be the only one that thinks that. It just sounds awful.
Definitely doesn't have the same ring.
No. If Angel Arena Open were to somehow not sound like complete trash, that would be it. But sadly, it sounds terrible. So I don't really want to go with it. Yeah. Angel Arena Community Edition. We could call it like Angel Arena CE Community Edition. Something like that. I feel like Angel Arena.
I like the idea of calling it Angel Arena something edition. So it's like a title and like a subtitle. You could do that.
Mm.
Then you could abbreviate it like CE.
Yeah,
if you wanted like a shorter version.
Abbreviations don't really work well with 4 letters. Like at 3 letters it works, but at 4 it doesn't. Sadly, the guys are still developing All Stars, so we can't really have that name. Which is very upsetting, because that was the best name. That was like perfect, and God, I'm just very annoyed by that. Yeah.
well,
Okay, can we stop with the memeing right now? Like, we have done enough of the memeing. Let's actually, make a decision.
the main thing I see with doing Angel Arena 2.0 is that you're basically saying, "Oh, I'm just making a better Angel Arena," which, to our opinion, we are. But if you do something more Angel Arena Community Edition, it's just say more of there's been more input on this one, and this is what more people like.
Yeah, no,
Yes.
I fully understand what you're saying with the controversial nature of 2.0. That's why it's like 2.0 and not 2, which was the original idea, right? Absolutely. Like, if it didn't have that controversial nature to it, then, would be a lot easier, I suppose.
But you're a controversial guy, whether you
Yeah.
like it or not.
But it's probably too risky to go with that, We shouldn't gamble at that stage. Like, there's already so many random factors involved in getting a game mode to be popular, right? So many things that we just kind of have to, like, pray and hope that it works out for us and in our favor. And I feel like gambling on a name is probably the wrong call. So, that's actually just... I feel like we shouldn't go with the 2.0 thing.
What
So...
about something like Angel Arena Advance or something? Like you're advancing on to like the next generation of Angel Arena, and you still get to keep the AAA abbreviation.
I like open. I'm currently okay. So I don't really like advanced. We have already talked about that. And the reason why I don't like it is because it sounds like a fucking Game Boy Advance game. Yeah, that's like the thing. That's what bothers me. I personally think we should go with Open Angel Arena.
I quite like that one. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I'm all about it.
I agree, because that's what we've been doing, really. So
Yeah, that's how this has been working, right? We have been doing the open arrange, we have been working as an open source. People have been coming in and helping out. Lots of people that we haven't, that just stepped in and did something. So I think Open Angel Arena is really let's just do that. It's just Open Angel Arena now. Or anybody got a problem with that?
Well, if we ever come up with like a better name in the future, we can always change it.
Yeah, that's true. We can always change it. It's just, for now, it bothers me that it's always Angel Arena All-Stars and I don't have, a name I can refer to it. Let's just, call it Angel Arena, or Open Angel Arena for now, and then we'll, if at some point we come up with a better name, we'll go with that, but for now, I think we should just go with that.
Yeah, let's do that.
Angel Arena All Free. All Free isn't a word, so, sorry. That just sounds like we don't know how to speak English, which I'm not a fan of. Okay, I'm actually just gonna rename the Discord to, right now. Boom. So it's called Open Angel Arena now.
Woo!
Or the Community Edition thing. That's the next question. God damn it. Whatever. What we know is we want to put emphasis in, okay, so one thing we can I want to agree on is we want to put emphasis in our name on the fact that this is a community project and everybody can participate and it's open source and all of that. Right? So, we can come up with a better name for that at some other time. I don't like CE as much. Yeah, Bob Dragon, I don't like CE because it reminds me of Combat Evolved and that makes me think of Halo, not of Angel Arena. So, Angel Arena All-Stars.
To use Community Edition, I don't think we could abbreviate it. CE, as you said, doesn't sound right. You would have to say it out in full if we did use Community Edition as a subtitle.
Well, the connotation is in English, you have Gold Edition and you have Diamond Edition. Community Edition just sounds like the worst of the editions because there's nothing special about Community at all.
It sounds like the edition that didn't get hired.
Yeah.
No, that... Oh well. Now, let's just go with Open Angel Arena for now. At least we removed the All-Stars finally. That's a good step, good first step here. Alright, next things I kind of want to talk about, and I'm actually gonna just pass it over to Warp Dragon. What's the current state of things?
Okay. We are. Well, I've got a GitHub set up, warpdragon/AAA, and within that, I've got a branch that we've been kind of working out of with all the items, all the abilities, and right now, when you start the game, if you just forked my warpdragon/AAA more items edition or more items branch, you would get a playable version of the game with all that shit in it. And when you run it, it works. But what happens is it throws something called localization error. And that's not an important error as far as gameplay, but what it's saying is y'all don't have any tooltips on these spells. And when you look in the game as you're playing, you'll notice when you hover over, well, not spells. No, spells have tooltips, but I mean items. If you hover over items, there's nothing there except a bunch of gobbledygook. So currently, I think in order to release 1.0, it cannot be released without these tooltips. If you want people to say, oh, what a cool game, they'll say, what a shitty game, there's no tooltips. So to that end, we've created a project on the Angel Arena All-Stars AAA, where all the jobs are posted, where everybody should be looking for work. And it's called Tooltips or whatever. And I've linked a couple of things already in the...
Right, I'm sorry, can you repeat where the tooltip thing is exactly? I'm looking for it right now.
Yes.
I said under issues, need tooltip data fix.
Uh-huh.
Oh god. Give me 1 second, I got a cat vomiting. Alright, you guys continue really quick, I'll be right back.
Okay, so if you guys could direct your attention to the channel Bug Testing Help, which is a channel that hasn't been posted in 1 month, which is why I'm dumping stuff in there for now. If you look in Bug Testing Help, there are 4 links. The first one, Items Implementation Tracker. That's the best name I could come up with. It's a Google sheet. Anybody who wants to contribute just a little, like this is just data entry stuff. You don't have to know anything about programming or scripting or anything. And even if you don't use Git, even if you don't have your own copy of my repository or any of that fancy shit, you could still write these tooltips. Right there, if I see a couple of you are looking at the Google sheet, there's links at the top of it that show you the data you need to use and the data, how it's supposed to look once you've made the tooltips. And don't worry too much about making mistakes. We're gonna bug test it. It shouldn't be too difficult. We just need people. We need warm bodies in seats typing. If one person were to do this job, it would take them about a week. But if 5 people were to do this job, we could get it done in a day or 2. And like I said, it's not too technical. Several other links that I've posted in Bug Testing Help are also on that Google Sheet as well. One of them being a tutorial for Git, which Chronophilos had originally typed and I edited for him. If any of you are interested in learning Git, it makes this whole thing about 1,000,000 times easier. From now until this thing is done, there's going to be a lot of implementation type things happening. And Git is the key to implementation projects. But other than that, you don't have to get Git at all. If you don't have Git and you want to write these tooltips, get yourself a paste bin and paste your code into a paste bin and put your links on this tracker here, this Google Sheet. By the time this Google Sheet is, well, let's put it this way. We're not filling this whole thing in.
Where did you put the Google Sheet again? I'm sorry, I'm trying to open it up.
Bug Testing Help, there's a link to it.
Yeah.
So I've got places where people can put their tooltips and places where programmers can actually keep track of. I believe I've got a couple people working on some of the actual functionality. For instance, they're making a BKB that charges like a magic wand. And but the tooltips are on the left. So as soon as we get a lot of these item tooltips figured out, it'll be really cool. And we can start looking at it. And I'll start posting progress in the progress channel so you guys can look. And if you guys have a copy of my repository running as your add-on, if that makes sense,
Yeah.
you could actually play this. You could play the game with all the stuff in it and test your own work as it goes in, which is pretty cool. And as I was telling them about me, there's a link there to an article that I helped Chronophilos with called GitHub. I didn't want him to call it GitHub for Noobs. I wanted to call it GitHub Tutorial, but it's called GitHub for Noobs. And I must say, I didn't even know GitHub existed. I didn't know the software Git existed a week ago. And today I've got like 3 branches going, and I'm spamming general with my updates. And it's really, really interesting to me to learn it. And I was telling them, it's important to learn it going forward. Because from now until, the end of time, this thing is going into implementation. And so learning Git is a very good way to stay relevant in this project. And that's about it. Like I said, we just need people typing out these tooltips.
So that's really the last thing we need to do right now, right?
I don't know. You could confirm that with some of the programmers, maybe with Chris. I would say the game, on my end at least, looks pretty good, except for the tooltips. So if that is a correct assumption, then you get the tooltips working, some of the spells working. Yeah, we could maybe launch 1.0.
Okay, before we do that though, there's actually, and that's another thing I wanted to talk about today, is we need to consider what features we still need before we launch that 1.0. And that's just what I mean with that is we need to, because our 1.0 is not going to immediately be public, right? We're going to make it public occasionally, and I'll like host big streams and such where we test out the game. But we need to make sure that during those test runs, we really get the most value out of it we can. So what we need to make sure is that we like are tracking all of the data. Do we have like tracking software for that currently set up? Or like, is that somehow integrated into the game? Man, I wish Chris was here.
I'm
And does that mean that we
certain...
get stuff that you get stuff to translate now? Yes, actually, translation is actually finally gonna have to do things.
A couple things. The first thing that I want to mention is if you are interested in doing these tooltips, please use Sublime Text or something similar so you can save it in that character encoding that I put at the top of the sheet. I did mention that. I just wanted to point that out. If you save it in UTF-8, which is the default encoding of most text programs, it will not be good. We'll have to re-encode it. Now, what you were saying about me, and I will probably refer to a couple of the kids that I know in this channel right now know how to code. I don't know how to code. I'm trying to learn. But if anybody who knows anything about coding can tell us about bug tracking, like right now, that'd be great. I know Zedling is a coder. Zedling, are you there?
Yeah, so Skorky 18 is actually pointing something out like the get data stuff.
Yes.
That's exactly what I meant, right? Like we need a setup like that. We need to be able to properly track the games that are being played and what items are being bought, what heroes are being picked, you know? Another thing we're also going to need is I need an easy setup that I can make changes on the fly. Because during those big testing sessions, what I plan to do is I want to play a game and then fix every single problem I see during that game, because there will be tons of them, right? And then play another, and then always constantly do things, constantly try to like balance and adjust and do all of that. So we need a setup that allows me to do that, instant implementation. And it's not like I'm gonna do my big things. Like the only thing I really want to change is number values. Right, I want to change how much this item costs, or how much bonus, like, or how powerful this spell is, and all of that. And I understand how the KV file works. Yes, change values. Exactly. I mean to change the values. Understand how the KV file works. I mean, I did some of those. It's not really very difficult at all. That's not a problem. But what I need is a way to instantly implement it, upload the game again, have an update ready so that the next game I host of the game will immediately be with this new version. That's a thing we need.
Okay, so there is actually another tutorial that we were working on. Let me see if I can find it.
We could have it so that like just a third-party program will compile everything for you. So you just change like a notepad file and then hit run on this other program and it changes all the other files.
Yeah, like, so Squawky is saying, like, that sounds like a pretty typical way of doing it. Yes, it is, right? Rapid reiteration is very important, though. And currently, I don't know how to do that. And I don't know if we have a setup that allows for doing that. But
We do, actually. At the bottom of Bug Testing Help, there's a document I posted called Working with KV Files. And now I can probably type out a better one, not so much a document about KV files, but a document about, like you said, rapid reiteration and testing. I'll just make like a file just for that, a document just for that. But if you look at the bottom of that document, it does kind of go through what exactly is involved. So if you change the individual spells or the individual items values, you gulp it. There's a program called node.js, and you just type in the word gulp. Then you got to check it to make sure there's no errors. And then you open up Dota tools and type in launch Dota custom game AAA, and you're good to go. You just have to have like, I mean, it's super easy. It really is super easy. I'll write up a tutorial for it probably if I get time. If y'all will help with the tooltips, I will help as well. But if I get time, I will definitely write that up. And I'll work with Squawky if he has any recommendations. It's not hard, though.
okay, that's good. Okay. Well, that's all. I guess. Is there anything else we really desperately need before 1.0? Do we have, this is something I've been wondering about, do we actually properly have creep damage values for just the regular creeps, easy, normal hard camps? Anybody know if Hageneko did that?
I was looking at that issue under the Git issues, and it still says it's open, but there are 2 commits at the bottom of it, both by Trildar and Chris. And when you look at the actual commits, you can see that lines have been changed and values have been put in. So I don't know if it's done, but some work has been done on it. Chris will probably know more.
What number issue is that?
79.
Issue. Add gold values to creeps.
I posted it to
Yeah, but
Bug testing help.
that's the gold values. The gold values are figured out. Like gold and experience and all of that is figured out. What I'm wondering about is the actual damage, HP, armor, attack speed, all of that of the creeps and how they scale throughout the game. Do we have that? Because if not, that's actually something I can do. Right?
Let me look.
That's a pretty complicated thing, and it's gonna like take me like probably until next week just to figure out these creeps. But that's something I can work on while we're still doing those KV files and such. Well, we aren't doing KV files right now.
Well, technically, the tooltips are
Tooltips.
in KV, I believe.
Okay, all right. Let's I guess KV then. But while we do the tooltips, then I can also figure out the creeps. It's just kind of
I was
important that we
testing-
don't overlap it.
I was testing some stuff the other day, and I wasn't really paying much attention to the damage values, but I was paying attention to the fact that when I went to go cook a pizza and came back into the room at level 1 with my hero, the creeps all of a sudden had 3,600 HP. So I know the creeps are getting more difficult over time, but I didn't look at the damage value. But I would assume since he changed the values for the HP, he might have changed the values for the damage.
Also, make sure you take a look at issue 4 because that also is talking about creep camps.
Okay. Wait.
I'm
issue
posting all
4?
these issues into bug testing help for anybody who's not currently on the
What's up with
GitHub.
issue
They're
4?
in bug
Creep
testing
camps.
help.
Creeps upgrade over times. Yes. Cool. Well, that's not the upgrade over time. Well, but who could have, like, somebody must have done the creep damage values then. Who could have been that? Like, there must be Haganeko, right? Who else does that?
I could actually just launch the game right now and see. We'll know in 5 minutes if they get stronger.
I guess. I mean, but the way you described it seems like they do get stronger, right? I mean, I don't doubt that. Alright, okay, so I guess we gotta figure that out. Other than that, it's really just items right now, right? That's it.
Mhm.
So, I guess everybody go ahead and grab themselves some of those items, read through the tutorials that are available, and...
Yeah, there's a person responsible on that tracker there. If you want to just put your name next to like one item, fuck around with it as much as you want, and post the link where it says link here. That would be fantastic. If you're nervous, if you've never done it, great, just do it. A lot of people, myself included, love just doing this kind of stuff, but we can't do it alone. So the
Yes.
more help, more people, the better.
It's a lot of stuff to do. Just a lot of, like, just requires manpower, that's all. But
And
that's
right,
all around exciting.
it's got,
oh, another thing we need to do is we need to determine the power levels of the bosses. Because we're just, even though we're just gonna have DPS tanks, right? We're just like gonna have big creeps essentially with no abilities for version 1. They do need to be, you know, they need to have proper values. So we need to assign that. I can do that too. Yeah, I'll look into that. Cool. Finally got something to do again. Happy about
I stuck Invoker in too.
yeah, I saw that.
It was actually really easy. It works great. The only thing it doesn't do is it doesn't display all of the little dots, but it works perfectly. I didn't have to do hardly anything. Okay, so the Kobold Foreman does 14 damage and 400 HP. And in a minute, I'll see what he does. And we can end the meeting. You don't have to wait. I'll just message you.
Yeah, no, I wanna hear that.
Okay.
We can't wait a minute. I mean,
I think they spawn every minute.
Yeah, they should. Cool. I guess then we know what there is to do. Anybody can participate. Anybody that wants. Be right. You do music, right?
Yep.
Yeah. I haven't heard anything from you guys. Are you guys even still doing anything? That's just like a real problem. Like we totally overestimated or like underestimated how long it was gonna take us to get like a first version of the game going. Part of that
I believe is that people are still working on bits and pieces by themselves. And like I'm working on a couple of ideas myself. I know Felix is and Sai is. Well, I think Felix's pieces, he's pretty happy with them. If you want music to implement into the first version, I believe he posted that in reply to your message in the private chat. As for the rest of our pieces, I don't know whether they're ready or not to be implemented. My pieces still need a bit of mastering and stuff to get them polished. But then it's like basically understanding more bosses that you want to implement and then composing around that. So I reckon that'd be future versions.
Well, yeah, bosses. We already have some bosses confirmed. So this is something you can do. You can go onto the. I understand we don't like have properly like finished bosses yet that are actually in the game. But if you go into issues, right here, I'm gonna just Angel Arena. You go into the issues we have there. I'm gonna post it in general, so you can take a look at it there. And then in the issues you can see there's implement, and then there's a bunch of bosses, right? There's Azazel, Runaway, Carapace, Shield, Mirror, Swiper, Stop Fighting Yourself, Slime, Honorable Angel, and Charger. Right? These are all confirmed bosses that we're gonna have in the game. And
Okay.
they have like a finished playstyle and all of that. So you can start working with that if you want. And yeah, that's essentially what I'm saying, you know, like I don't know how much you guys have been communicating. It has been a bit quiet, but I know that you also have been using a different Discord at times, right? So I'm just not sure. But the music player, from what I can see, is also actually done. Somebody pushed a thing on GitHub for that recently. So music player is ready. We can implement things properly. We can put music in. And if there's anything you want to put into version 1, then you can feel free to like just tell me and we can do that. Seems that the creeps upgrade, so I'll just pass on the creeps for now. I'll ask, probably somebody already did that then. But what I'll do is I'm gonna figure out the power levels of the bosses that we need. You know, at which points, you know, they're gonna have how much HP so you can kill them at appropriate levels and all of that. That's something I'm gonna do over the coming week. Over the coming week. But that about sums it up. So unless anybody else has anything to say, I think you can feel free to go.
Just a little bit for working with all the issues. I don't know who's in charge of closing them out, but it seems like at least a couple of them are still open, but they all have commits that look to be right. So whoever's in charge of like looking over that and then closing them out, so we know that work is done, that would be great if that could happen.
Okay, that's Chris who does that. I can tell him that. Yeah, that makes sense. Like I'll tell him that, you know, people would like it if things could be properly closed when they are done, so we know what is ready and what isn't.
Yeah, because I was looking at like some of the great for new contributors links, but it seems like there's already commits with them, even though they're still open. So.
Yeah, no, I'll tell him that. Cool. Anything else? No. All right.
Nothing we can't. Yeah. We're good.
Then everybody, go ahead and grab yourself some KB files. You know, to the item implementation and try to work on that if you can find the time. That would be fantastic. I'm gonna go ahead and do the bosses. After I'm done with that, I'll also do some of the tooltips if I can find some time for it. And I guess I'll see you guys next week. Same time, probably.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And guys, you know, KV files, it sounds complicated, but it's just text. It's just a bunch of
super easy. Like
numbers and letters.
The KV files we did recently, which was just like you open them up, you look at them, and you're like, oh well, that makes sense. Right? You don't need any explanation. You don't need to think about it. You open it up and you look at it and you're like, oh, well, clearly that's where the damage goes. Clearly that's where, you know, how much, like, it's all super obvious. Seriously, anybody can do it. If you've played Dota before, you can do KV files.
Cool. Thanks, guys.
All right. Then I'll see you around. Goodbye.
See ya.